Anyway, I just want to say thank you, Jesus, because if it wasn't for God, I would not be standing here right now. And it is my testimony because when it all comes down to it, this is God's plan, not mine. But I want to first thank Casey Council because last night we got so drunk. No, honestly, one of the reasons I like coming to events like this is because I get to spend time with people I admire and I learn from them. And I've always seen her and Rick, and I loved Rick. And he meant a lot to a lot of people in this room. And so just to be able to hang out with her last night was super cool. So that's why I'm here. I'm here for you guys. And if you have any questions after this, that's my grandfather. So it might be a surprise that I'm Asian, right? With a name like Demarco. So Chris asked me, he picked me up from the airport, and he said, hey, have you ever been to Oahu? And I said, as a matter of fact, I have, and I swore I'd never come back because I had a phone call about 10 years ago, and it was from some guy that said he was my brother. And at first I'm like, okay, all right, tell me more. And then he told me I had 2 sisters. I'm like, tell me more. And he said, we've been looking for a father for 50 years. My dad had 2 lives, and he had this big secret. And I had a reunion here with 2 sisters and a brother that I didn't even know I had. And it was pretty traumatic because the father that I knew and loved, I had a hard time. I need ayahuasca after that visit. Anyway, so let's get to it. It's really good to be here. I'm Gail today. Who knows? My husband always says, who do I wake up to? Tomorrow could be somebody different. And everybody wants to know your stats, right? But I'll tell you what, I was in the lobby and I was a little bit shaken because I'm talking to a couple of these Hawaiian agents here, and they're like, oh yeah, I got a $10 million buyer. I've got, every house is $1 million. And I was a luxury agent, right, in California. But, we all have these egos. Ooh. So a little bit about me. Thank God, I only got my license at 55. So I'll be 69 this year. Asian don't raisin, okay? So I joined EXP. I was a Sotheby's agent. I actually had about 180 agents in my office here in El Dorado Hills. We were the #1 in production for EXP. I work for Ryan Serhant. I'm one of his coaches. I'm one of his 20 coaches. I'm the only EXP agent in that organization. Everybody else is a Serhant coach, except for one. I guess I did that. So I don't have a big organization. I don't. I'm too busy in production, right? And you'll find out why. People are like, why do you still work? Why wouldn't I? Alzheimer's, bad hips, dementia. I don't want to get that stuff. I like what I do. So the kind of agents I work with, I never take new agents. I only work with productive agents, right? Because energy creates energy. And I really want, people either going to drain you or they're going to drive you. And I'm tired of being drained. And that could be your friends and family as well. So for 166 people, the most I've ever had is 188, because I really don't recruit. But I'm about to change that, because I feel like EXP has come such a long way. We have so much to give them right now. And I've done $511,000. Think about that. I never got that from Sotheby's. Okay, $511,000. I invested all of it. It is now worth $1.2 million. My total sales volume last year in a brand new market, without buying a Zillow lead, without buying a Realtor.com lead, without an OnlyFans page, was $45 million, and $3 million were referrals. And I'll tell you what, we used to have the really great workplace, and I was like on it like a stripper was on a pole, right? So it's like, if there was a referral out there, I'm like, I'll do it. This is kind of weird. Okay. So here's my story. Here's my testimony. I was loving life. I had a great life, right? I'm paddling all the time. I was the paddleboard instructor. And all of a sudden, I get the phone call. We're all going to get a phone call in our life. It's all going to come. Casey happened to be there, which I don't know if I'd want to be there, but we're all going to get that phone call where your life is going to drastically fucking change, whether you like it or not. I'm sorry, Chris, but I am originally from New York. And I got the phone call where my mom had colon cancer, and I was like, oh, there's 5 of us. Okay, we'll all take turns. Well, I didn't have a really great childhood, so none of my other brothers and sisters wanted to help. And they were like, no, we're good. So when I say colon cancer, it was like ileostomy bag, 3 operations, all that fun stuff. So I moved from California to Florida. I didn't know anybody, nobody, except for a doctor and nurses. That was it. Then I learned really quick, after she had the surgery, and I'm in the hospital, and I said to the wound nurse when she was showing me how to change that ileostomy bag, I was like, why are you showing me? Who's going to come and do that? You. I bawled. I broke down. I was like, I've never even seen my mom naked. I have not been home since I was 15 years old. I was raised in a detention center in Chicago from 15 to 16, and then I was raised in Dunkin' Donuts because I got a job in Dunkin' Donuts for 2 years, and I hadn't seen my mom. Maybe like 2 times a year I'd see her, and it was just not a relationship. So what do you do when you go to a new place? You do a SWOT analysis, right? I don't care if I'm going to a bar, I'll do the same thing, right? I'm going to figure out what are my strengths, when I was single, not now. What are my weaknesses? What is the opportunity? What is the threat? Well, my strength is always, I'm a badass listing agent. I hadn't done a buyer in years and years. My weakness is, I don't even know where Costco is. I don't know anything in St. Johns County, Florida. I could barely get it even to the supermarket without using my GPS. The opportunity was, this was the opportunity. This is the best school district in all of Florida. Oh my gosh. And what is the threat? The interest rates. So what do you do when you're in a brand new area? Maybe you don't, maybe right now you're still here, but you're trying to figure out, how the hell do I leverage? How do I leverage and make a shitload of money? Because guess what else I learned? It was going to cost me $15,000 a month for my mom's care. And she only makes $2,700. So was I going to say, what do I do? No, I'm going to freaking pull your bootstraps up and get busy and make a shitload of money. So you find your niche. That's mother. That's her pet. And and I will tell you, the Lord has kind of given me some forgiveness in life, and we actually almost have a relationship right now. So my niche was cash buyers, right? Because of the interest rates. The over 55 community. Luxury Airbnb. Here are my first 2 listings. These were the first 2. One was an expired. I'm a killer on the phone, okay? I'm a killer. You pick up the phone because I don't go, oh my God, what are they going to say? I pick up the phone and go, how can I serve this person? God, put me in front of the right people at the right time for the right reason. Not for my reason. It's not about me. How can I help them? Because I know I'm better than any other realtor out there, and I'm going to help them. So that's my thought. So I get this listing. Oh my God, it was like PTSD. They were horrible. Okay, they blew 3 deals 3 days before we were closing. They broke in there. They still had a key, of course. Stole a Vitamix. Stole a bicycle and 2 suitcase holders. And the deal fell through. I had to split it. It was $75,000 commission. And I found somebody who knew seawalls. I didn't know seawalls, right? I knew luxury in California. This one on the top, this is the very first home I sold. I said, don't post it. It's only $400,000. It's where my mom lives in an over 55 community. Well, guess what? I sell about 5 or 7 of those a month right now. And half the time, they're not even home. It's great. They're snowbirds, right? These I stay away from. I'm staying away because no lockbox, no life. And for me, especially at my age, I'm going to live another 30 years, right? Not the way I drink, no way. But in any case, my time is really, really precious. So here's the three deals that I closed. Here's the 3 deals I closed the week before I left to Florida. This was my average. Yeah, it was I was used to making $1 million a year. It took me 5 years as a new agent to make my first $1 million. And I did all through open houses and expireds. So this is me now. So this little mailer, and I'll talk about that. This has been like a godsend. I've done it'll be 50 deals in this little community of 535 homes. And this is one of the communities at over 55 that I've been marketing. And I'll tell you, they are the most, if there's any over 55 communities here or wherever you live, I would jump on that because they are the most motivated demographic. And I'll tell you why. They move in, they go, oh my God, I'm too young to be with all these old folks. Or they move in, they go, oh shoot, my son just got relocated, so then they leave. Or then they move in and they have to go into assisted living, or they move in and their spouse dies. I mean, they don't care. They don't wait for the interest rates. I'm telling you, it's been incredible. So my average price point is $550,000 there. Here's what I did. And anybody could do this. Well, I hired a coach, me, right? I mean, I do work with Ed Milet right now, but it's on different stuff. I just started pretending I was my coaching student. So I found the neighborhoods. You find your neighborhoods. You find your niches. It's not like I go over, when I hear people, I do everything. You do everything, but then you do everything and never, ever get brand recognition, right? Your job is to become a celebrity in your neighborhood. You have to. So I found my neighborhoods. I invested in mailers, right? I prospected expireds. That's right. I call people. How do you think I got my deal with Rolling Stone, with the Rolling Stone guy? He gave me $100,000 to do that book. I picked up the phone and I called him. How do you think I got Mickey Rourke or Willie Nelson or any of these guys to work with me? I picked up the phone and I called them, or I called their agents. It's prospecting. I mean, you don't just sit home and say, I hope the Doobie Brothers hire me. I worked for them for 10 years. I picked up the phone and I called them. And then I started working a lot of open houses, because guess what? It's a contact sport, And I'll tell you, the more people you talk to, the easier it gets. And people I don't do open houses, they don't work. Well, the only people that come to my open houses are sellers, and guess what? I love that. Then I was challenged by a really great friend of mine, Mike Sherrard, at EXP, and I've been coaching in his group, and this is why I love EXP, because I'm not even in his group, and I'm one of his coaches. So he said, Mama G, you gotta start a YouTube channel. You're like the Antichrist. All you do is call expireds. And I was like, you know what? I've been a photographer behind the camera for 25 friggin' years. I don't want to be in front of the camera. I don't want people to see all this. So I listened. I listened to him, and he gave me his whole library of 40 videos, and I was like, oh, hell no. I'm not going that deep. I am not going to learn everything. So before I started my YouTube channel, I started doing these mailers, okay? Now, just think about this. I only mail to 180 in this particular neighborhood, and people don't want to know how great I am. People don't want to know I was a top agent. People don't want to know I sold almost $1 billion in real estate. All they want to know is what is this too loud? Is this on? I feel like Bunny O. She's my favorite podcaster. Is this thing working? No. So anyway, they want to know the data, okay? They want to know what is happening in their neighborhood. So this 186, it cost me about $300 a month. I split it with an agent, a LO, loan officer, and I've gotten 3 listings, including the head guy from Toll Brothers, his house, which was a $2 million house. people, mailers are working again. The one I did almost 50 transactions in, that one I spend $300, a little about $340 a month, and you do the math. It's like that's one of the reasons I did 45 million in production. So when I started my YouTube channel, this was last year. At first I started doing luxury, and then I was like, you know what? It's really hard to get the ego. It's so hard to get the ego off your shoulder to say I'm a luxury agent, because I always figured I'm going to be selling things like Sharina, right? Like beautiful homes on the water and ocean. And let me tell you my experience. I'd have to get there early, get all the salt off the windows with a hose. My hair would be a wreck, kick the cockroaches, right? And make sure everything was perfect. And then they were canceling. Well, sorry, the buyers are going to go have lunch. What? So this YouTube has changed my life. So 2 years ago, I started going all in on YouTube. And I do three videos a week. And I said, and I was just kind of hiding my niche, because right now I've changed my banner where it says 55 and over communities, and I'm telling you 2 to 3 a week I'm getting, okay? Because I said, Dad, I want to sell, big homes. I like the big checks. And he's like, Gail, he goes, you are so lucky to be able to be that last leg of the journey for these people in the over 55. Maybe God's called you there. And it just took me a while to accept I'm the over 55 realtor, right? Because we all have this thing, we want to sell luxury. I was one of the luxury ambassadors. I'm like, take it. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm very, very happy finding my niche. So this is what happened. All of a sudden, Housing Wire put this up on. I was shocked. I was like, how would they put my age? And they did this whole thing. They wanted to interview me. I had 30,000 subscribers after that. 30,000. I'm at 115,000 subscribers right now. Then this happened. I get this phone call. I thought it was a crank phone call. And basically what they said to me was, hey, you're the Florida expert. Can you do an interview on Newsmax? And I thought it was a crank phone call, like when Ryan Serhant called me. I'm like, yeah, sure. So what happened is let me see if this works. Can you hit that video? Okay. So this happened.
The market has changed. It's a complete buyer's market right now.
Let's go louder.
Gail Demarco is a realtor in St. John's.
So anyway, they thought I was an expert. I had only been there less than a year. I only knew one zip code. I was like, all right, I'll do it. I actually felt like I did better than the California guy. Is it working? So anyway, they interview me, and I get another 25,000 subscribers from that.
All from this change is complete buyer's market right now. Gail Demarco is a realtor in St. Johns County, Florida.
That's all I got. So basically, they said, what do you think of the market? I go, you're nuts. It's a seller's market. Buyers have choices right now. Sellers have to fix everything. So between that and Housing Wire, people started watching. Okay, go to the next one. So then this happened too, because now when you're taking care of a parent, or maybe you feel like, how can I go ahead and sponsor anybody, right? I don't have any time. I didn't have time. 4 times a night, I'm waking up, right? My mom has an electric mat by her bed, and if she wakes up, it's like living in a firehouse. So it's like, I'm waking up, I have no sleep, and I had 20 agents that wanted to join me because I had like 19 listings within 4 months. And so basically what I did was I called my buddy, Randy Bird, and said to him, let's talk about this co-sponsorship thing. So here's the thing. I've just had like 4 people co-sponsor with me because they want to learn listings or YouTube, right? I put a couple of people with Michelle Wilson because she's a phenomenal prospector. And there's so much opportunity right now. Like if I want to really go deep in a business, I'm going to go with Casey Council, right? So there's so many different opportunities now that we have co-sponsorship, because you can bring them in, introduce them, and then plug them into a system where you can still do production. And I'll tell you, Randy and I have probably sponsored, I don't know, maybe like 8 people together, and it's been incredible. And he only sponsors people that want to build, right? Like if they want to build an organization. I only would sponsor people if they want to learn YouTube or if they want to go into a brand new market and learn listings. So here's my question to you. Here's where I did most of my prospecting, because was almost 70 days that I spent in the hospital with my mom, and I knew I had bills to pay, and I was not going to go into my retirement because I've given up the last 10 years of my life, to build a retirement because I was bust-ass broke 13 years ago. I'd gone through a divorce, and I was like, there's no way I can start over. Who's going to take care of me? There's no way. So here's my question to you. Maybe you have a parent you're taking care of. Maybe you're changing someone's diaper, right? Who's going to change your diaper? Seriously, like who's going to, like I've got 4 kids. How many kids? No. I have 6 grandkids. But I don't ever want to put that on my kids. Because I got to tell you, there's been some dark nights, like when I have to get my mom up at 4 o'clock in the morning and throw her in the shower because it's like I don't even know where to friggin' start, you know? I tell my husband, I said, maybe I should just open up a crime scene cleanup because it's like you desensitize yourself. Thank God I have an ability to go out there without an OnlyFans page and make a hell of a lot of money. I mean, I'm averaging $75,000 a month with the little $550,000 homes, right? So that's my question to you. What happens when you get that phone call? What happens when all of a sudden you've got to take care of your parent? Or I don't want my kids ever to do what I'm doing for my mom, ever. Tube feeding, IVs, it's like, it's a full-time job. It's a full-time job. So there's an incredible opportunity here at EXP. If you're just here for the $16,000 cap, you're fucking crazy. There's so many other ways you can make money. Like right now, I mean, I'm doing $150,000 a month in revenue. I mean, a year. I wanted it to be a month like Casey. But I want it to be more, right? Because, you think, I'm not a recruiter. I'm not. I'm an attractor, but how can I bring so many people to my church or to I built restaurants. Why not build myself? Because I know that we can change people's lives. A lot of you agents that don't have, I don't know, Luann Costco's here, and she's super rich. So if you don't have a killer retirement, if you don't have $2 million in your bank account for retirement, you're fucked, right? Because I'm going through $15,000 a month right now with my mom, $12,000 to $15,000, and I'm still saving $20,000 every single month into my retirement account, because that's the power of real estate, and I'm going to show other agents how to do that. So here's all I want to say is, like, get over yourself. If you're saying I can't do YouTube, if you moved me here, I would freaking go nuts here. I would this would be, Chris, I'm moving in. Honestly, I would start a YouTube channel. I would be that person, because if people could buy, if I could sell $45 million in year 2 in a place where I don't even know how to get to Costco or Trader Joe's, you could do it. This island, you have so much opportunity, no matter where you're at. If you haven't tried it, you should try it. And just be yourself. And that's the one thing I learned. Just be yourself. If people go, I don't know, I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I sound. Well, guess what? That's what you look like. That's what you look like. That's how you sound. You're freaking annoying, but people will love you. They will love you. So anyway, I appreciate it so much. Thank you for having me here. If you have any questions, just reach out to me. I am an open book. Thank you.
Awesome. Give it up again for Gail Demarco, all the way from Florida. Love it. He was important.